His wife's dad runs it.
The Ace Hardware,
I think so.
I think, yeah.
Brandon's now gonna be starting running it.
Was he from down here?
Mhm. From Bath.
Yeah, I talked to him in there before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, remember that when we talked
Yeah,
to the guy?
and he hasn't, run it very long, maybe.
No, and I don't notice that he's still,
Maybe
I think his father-in-law is still doing it, right?
Okay,
But they've just been getting ready to,
yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised when he told us that.
yeah. mhm.
Yeah, he said, well, he seen my Langsburg coat. He said, well, I'm from Bath. I
Yeah.
said, really? I said, how'd you get up here? He said, a marriage girl.
Hey, you guys are live. All right. Hi, Dave.
Yeah.
Hey.
Paula's not gonna be here. Kim will be.
I guess, yeah, they'll take notes, it'll be recorded and they'll get notes
Yeah.
from from that, so. It's how they do it.
Got a couple of minutes yet. I don't think anybody's coming anyway, so we'll call the meeting to order and everybody had a chance to look at last minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
And I did see in that set of minutes where, well, I see it on a weekly where they posted it about changing the double headstone from 48 to 60.
yeah,
Did they have anybody show up at that meeting?
the city council meeting.
Yeah, was there, that's what they were doing. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't think they would. I didn't know if we were
No.
supposed to come or not.
No, didn't need
We'd
to.
already talked about
Yep.
it, so.
Yep,
Hey,
I think it just, city council had to explain to him what it was, but if I
yeah,
remember right, it was like, okay. we'll go with that.
yeah, 'cause, well, we've been doing it anyway. I mean, but it was good to have it out there.
Well, that's exactly right. I wanted to get it right in
Tammy Burdell Brothers Grave. E1363. I don't know nothing about that. Nobody's said anything. Dave, you know anything on that?
It was brought to our attention, I don't know, did she bring the pictures with your packets?
Yeah,
I'm looking for something that says Brindell.
It's,
is it the one that's slanted?
there you go. No, it's between Ernst and Gee.
Okay.
Okay,
They put a headstone right there. And from where the marker is to where the edge of that headstone is at 8 feet. They're outside of their rings, and there's no way that we could put a footing, there's not a footing underneath it. We didn't put it there. We didn't even know it was there until they called and wanted to know why it was sinking.
Oh, good.
So I can't tell you who did it or even how long it's been there. If you look at the key and the two headstones, I mean, them things were poured a long time ago. The one on,
Well, Ernest died in 97. You can't read it on keys.
yeah, it looks kind of bad. That's,
it does, and the other thing to that is when we pour them, we try to put the headstones in the center of the lots. And for some reason, when they poured them too, they put them right at the edges, so it looks like there's a huge gap in between them, and there's really not. If you measure it out, they're just, the stones themselves are the edge of the
So help me,
outside walls.
tell me the significance of the 8 feet.
Encroachment on the other properties. And when we brought that up to them, they wanted to know if we could put it in the foot, and we told them, well, that's footstones or not.
Yeah,
And that's why the,
what could we do to rectify that? Put flat stone a little more in the middle? I mean, it ain't gonna rectify the lines and everything, but it sure would look better. I mean, from the way this looks, the earths or whatever it is sitting right on it.
Well, that is part of theirs.
That is part of theirs.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
so Ernst is in the right place, it's the.
Right. If the one on the left would have been centered, then there wouldn't have been any room for him to even put that stone there.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm feeling stupid, Dave, help me out here. Come here, help me with the 8 feet. Why, I mean, what's the significance?
Right where this light is at right here, the mark is right under, that's 18,
Right, but aren't our graves like 38 inches wide?
38 inches wide.
So how do we get to 8 feet? See what I'm,
The 8 feet was just where I was showing you where the marker was to where that stone was at. We didn't put that in there.
I get it, no, I get that. I'm trying to figure it, so here's. Here's G. Here's. Ernst, right?
Yes,
And here is the. Well, that's. What's over here that you're measuring?
a little marker they're buried out there. We have to dig them up, and it's when they laid that cemetery out, they put little
So there's another
ceramic.
grave out here.
There's a walkway right here,
A
and then there's a 3-foot walkway, and then another set of graves. And there's little ceramic discs right here and right here. That's what we have to go off to where that's laid out. That's what this is on right here. It's on the ceramic disc.
So from here to here is.
It's 8 feet, right?
I guess I don't.
So they're well outside their.
But if this is supposed to be 30, I mean, you see where, I'm confused, and maybe I'm
No, they
stupid.
could, a double could have 60.
So is Ernst is
Could
the
be
double,
60 inches,
So Ernst is part of.
or 70, isn't it 76?
72 inches.
72.
72, okay,
So, yeah.
got it.
But
Got it,
Ernst
that's
is
what-
part of Brindle, is that right? Those two are connected, you said, or no?
This small stone and this one are part.
All right,
They are part of the same family? or no?
Correct.
They are.
That's what we're getting at.
Just that they put their stone on somebody else's farm.
so you didn't,
Well, they set it in there, so it's right at the edge of the property, and they didn't put a foundation underneath it.
Mhm.
So there's no way for us to dig that up and put a foundation over it without being
On
on
somebody
the lot next door.
else's, right.
so there should be another plot here. that
No,
goes with that. So there's not a plot in between
Yes.
G and Ernst?
it's right here. That's what I'm saying. This one, that little ceramic piece I'm telling you about is right here. They did not center this stone above these 2 graves.
This,
Should have been moved over and centered above 1 and 2.
got it. So this is a double plot too.
Correct.
So how wide is the Ernest stone?
Is that 5-foot stone? They don't look that.
I don't think that.
Ernst. Right, and this is 72, 72. And here's your lot width, right?
Right.
And there's not supposed to be, but Ernst is supposed to have that headstone and that one on the one, or that was. not supposed to be-
This one is the only one we knew about. We didn't even know that one was there until they called and wanted to know why it was sinking.
And how many people are buried there?
Right, that was my question.
3.
Great.
Are they
I mean,
remains?
do we know?
Yeah, there's 3 people buried in that one plot. Two.
Sorry, I heard a voice and I.
It's not us.
Yeah, yeah, that's Kim, yeah. So there's 3 people buried in this 72-inch plot.
Well,
Not full burial, but
find themselves to do this, then perhaps we can send it back their way and say you need to pay to have this done. Right,
I don't know how they would do it right though, to fit within our rules, that's.
So.
Yeah, that's the ordinance that I
Right.
gave you.
I was getting.
Our
at was-
ordinance states we don't do footings, so that was kind of what they were asking to make an exception for, was to make an exception to let them put that footing. They're gonna have to move it, first of all.
Well, she
'cause
can talk to her more than I did. So.
So that headstone is like this, is approaching on here.
Correct. And we can't, these two are both in the ground, so we can't ask them.
These,
Well, these two of the geese, so
yeah,
they
got it, got it.
they're asking to get permission to put a foundation under this one. And so that's why it's here to you guys, because we can't ask these guys.
Put a foundation under the gee one,
Under the one that's next to Ernst.
the little flat one.
Yes, that's the one that they put them themselves and never had a foundation under it, or. That's what started all, was they called and wanted to know why their stone was sinking.
Well, that's a good reason. You know, got a foundation under it is bound to go, probably sunk today, yeah.
There are, so when did this, hang on, let me ask my question different. We don't know when that was put there. When was the body? Do we know?
Kim,
I'd have to look it up.
she's got the dates there, that's not stuck in my head.
I mean, yeah,
This has gotta be a cremains, isn't it? I mean, you
Yeah.
can't have three,
it's three.
No,
you can't have three people.
one,
Two
well, you
walk-
could have two, but one of them, you know, you'd have two fulls and two cremains, but,
well, that's what the
Well,
72
if there's a
right,
a child like on my mom and dad's,
right,
they're both there and a baby boy, David. That died at birth.
right.
He's on that double lot, but that was back in the 50s probably.
So what's the bigger concern, having three bodies buried there, or having them?
The only real concern we're having right now is we need the permission. They're asking permission to put a foundation under that.
I get that, but if you do that, you're encroaching over here.
Correct, but we have nobody to contact over
I
here
get
to
it,
see if they
yeah.
care, so. That's why it's brought to you guys, to see how you want to handle that.
Now we're,
So back to, how wide is the Ernest stone?
Ernest was buried in 22.
But I wonder how wide that stone is. Is that a 4-foot stone, 40,
And is
48?
it centered on
This is centered, yes.
their
That one
double
is,
plot?
the other one is not.
The
Could
other
we-
one is not, the
Could
other
we
one
move that one over?
is over here.
And
Which
could-
one?
Could we move these two over? I mean, if you're gonna pour a footing, could you pour a footing over this whole thing? And put this one on its own property?
So what's?
Who's being the family?
Yeah, they would have to have something, we're not gonna move a stone that size. If we chip that or, yeah.
When they-
no.
Yeah, when they called and asked about the sinking, I said, where did this stone come from? And they said, oh, his son put it there. And I said, did they order a foundation for this? You know, because I'm thinking maybe it was way before or whatever. And they're like, no, he works in a cemetery, he knows what he's doing.
Okay.
That's why they have a problem.
Yes, and so I said, well, he's approaching on somebody else's lot.
Mhm.
Oh, no, he's not. And I said, I'm pretty sure he is, but I'll measure it. And they said, well, I said, either way, it has to be moved. Because it doesn't have a foundation. And then they're like, well, can't we put it at the foot?
So down here.
Yes,
And we don't.
I said, well, that's why it came to you.
What is this?
That's just a.
That's a little
stepping
stepping stone it's within their
Yeah, I get it.
allotment,
They're decorations.
you
So
if they're getting charged for removing it, I don't understand why they can't. We can't have that stone moved. I mean, they have to take responsibility for whatever damage happens to it.
Well, that's Yeah, they would have to move it.
So what you're saying
I mean,
is.
they kind of started that with it.
Yeah.
They're-
Ours,
I mean, yeah, that's what I would have said. If you guys,
over here,
Yeah.
that one here.
if you guys suggest that we put it at the foot, they're gonna have to move it, put the base down.
We're not saying you can't put it right there. We're just asking, you guys gotta give the okay for us to be able to put foundation under that, because it's gonna be encroaching on the other.
I get that, but what ramifications are we gonna have in the future if somebody looks and goes, well, that's encroaching on,
Correct. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, that's
Well,
that's the issue.
we had a family dilemma over in Bath, and what they did is. There's a small headstone, just a small plot. And at the foot of that is 3 babies. But those 3 babies had to have one that they can roll over. They can have a base that pops up, but their rule was it had to be flush. Whatever you do had to be flush,
Well,
because
like,
it can't
it's
cause
like the
problem.
veterans, because we allow veteran footstones,
But this
So-
one doesn't allow that.
right? We don't,
These rules don't allow it.
right?
And another one up north that we had, they have a stone almost just like that, and on the back of the stone. On the back of the stone, they had a plaque made, like a veteran
Mhm.
plaque,
We've got a couple out there that are that way.
but it's for. The single person that's gonna be buried right beside him. I mean, it covers the people
Correct.
beside the headstone.
Just fact, finding. Do we know how wide this one is?
Not right off the top of my head. I did so much measuring. out
Yeah,
there.
pretty
I'm
close.
pretty sure it's normal. I mean, it's.
It was within the.
range.
8 feet tall here, and this is. I don't know how long this stone is either.
I don't know what that stone was, like 20.
I mean,
Most of those are
Or
24 by 12.
something, yeah.
could we do that if we asked them to do that on their,
Well, 24 and 48. 72.
72.
Just fit if it's a 48 stone.
but we need to have some gap in between. And on the edges, so.
Well, if you just pour a 48 and footing and then set the stone on it.
Well,
it's actually good.
48.
72.
I mean, if you need extra, you have to take it out of this one, so it'd have to be 48 plus all the
Plus
gaps would have to come out of.
That's what he did, was added those together, and if we made one 72-inch.
Right.
And put them both on the same one.
Right.
That fixes it.
Either way, they're asking for you to spend the rules. I mean, either way you go, it's spending the rules.
Right.
So it's whether what you're comfortable with
Right.
bending the rules or not
Are
at all.
are they willing to pay for the foundation?
That I don't know. I did tell them it's gonna have to be removed regardless because it doesn't have foundation there.
Well, the city
Require
puts
that.
in all foundations. You don't let them pour their
Oh,
own.
you pour them, you pay for
They-
No, we
They
charge.
pay
them? Sure, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
But
Right,
we
you do
pour.
them, you
Right.
pour them, but we chart, that's why I was,
Right,
yes,
we don't let them come in and pour their own.
no. Right. Sorry, I misunderstood what you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And I know they had that problem out to Reed Cemetery, somebody went in there and poured their own foundation and stuff and set the stone in there. Was a big powwow on that, I never did hear how it
It's
come
cheaper for them
out.
to come up with a marker that attaches to the back.
Yeah, because that's costly, moving stones. And like I said,
Mhm.
we try not to move any, and we definitely.
and then we don't want
Well,
to,
No,
And that's not that's not city's liability. That,
they'd have to pay for the moving of the stone in. the
That's-
foundation and moving it back on.
There was one died, what, 2016 and one 97. Okay, and the other one,
Would we even want to do that in the first place? So that's the-
and you're right, the easiest would be to just put the foundation where it's at and
Yeah.
call it good, but,
Right,
but,
but some questions it later, and
Right.
that's where our dilemma is going.
right, no, I get it.
Problem is, if we say it's okay to put the foundation there, then it's up to us to move it later. And it's not up to us to move it.
Right.
Right,
and once you wiggle.
Right.
Then you turn, the straight lines aren't straight anymore.
which is frustrating as it is, they would have known that if they'd asked us before they put the stone in.
Well, how did they put the body there?
It's just cremation.
The cremation, you can have.
Okay, I missed that it was a cremation.
Correct.
So there's
So the
two,
cremation was allowed, and then just all of a sudden the stone showed up. We didn't know the stone was there, like I said, until we got a phone call wanting to know why it was sinking. Well, sinking because you put a stone there without foundation underneath.
so I think the best is,
And we try to watch out for stuff like that, but
I get it, no, it's not,
You
not,
can't,
and,
can't.
and when you're out there weed whacking around them, you go around so many of them, I can't tell you who's where.
You're taking grass off, you're not taking inventory of stuff.
Right.
these guys.
Does anybody have any ideas?
I think we ought to throw it back in your court, see what they want to do. If we got it for one person and the other person complains or somebody else knows they done it, then you're gonna be doing it for everybody.
And our rules are to say 60 inch.
Right.
So that means we could only pour a 60-inch foundation, not 72.
Right.
I mean, if we wanted to pour a 60-inch foundation and slide it all the way one way, they could settle down partially on it. I mean, like a decoration or anything else. If you could slide it all the way and leave room for an urn or something.
Yeah.
So we could pour a 60-inch there.
Do you know?
But I
what-
don't think we want to open that can because we just made a gal pay to have one removed and one poured because their stone was bigger than the foundation, so,
Bigger than 60.
no. But it was a single, but the stone was still bigger than the foundation, so if we allow that one to hang over, then why didn't we allow hers to hang over?
Yeah, I've seen a few of them now. So
Yeah, there's a few of them out there.
they're bigger than.
Put a stone bigger than the foundation. on there.
Yes.
Well, they're the ones who put it there, if they're worried about it sinking, then they should take care of it, I guess. Not,
But then,
not put a foundation, but just lift it up, put some dirt on it and use it for their decoration.
but then you have the problem of letting people
Put a
do their own
decoration-
because
put a
they weren't
decoration on
supposed to put
somebody
it
else's
there.
property.
So really what they ought to do is have to remove it and start over. I mean, because it's not like we're already dealing with so
Which
few
is-
inches.
Which is where we were leaving towards was,
Haven't been
yeah.
So,
Remove it, and if you want it on there, then have the plaque or something maybe on the back. of the stone.
there. They could have that one attached to the back.
Right.
They could get a hold of
is there room? I mean, could that go on the back of that? So,
that would.
They would have to shave that off. I mean, it's an actual stone. It's,
okay,
But they would have to, get with their,
let's just go get a circular saw, cut it off and some construction adhesive. Just kidding, just,
but this would be up to them and their
yeah, got it.
stone raising. So,
Yeah, if they would have done it right, put the foundation under the way it should have been.
problem is,
Nobody had ever said nothing. We
Right.
had never seen
wow,
it.
well, when they ask us to put the foundation,
Right,
we would have said, wait a minute,
you can't put
you
it
can't
there.
do that.
right.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's so few inches, there's no leeway, there's no.
No,
There's-
and ours is laid out. Ours is one of the tightest ones
absolutely.
in Michigan. I mean, most of them are 4 foot by 10 foot.
Right.
And
Yeah, so, I mean, we can't make it an inch bigger, so that's the way it is.
correct,
So it's hard to fix that problem.
correct. And where these, I mean, G, when we lay it out, that could be changed, but E and F, you can't change that. You'd have a whole mess of ones there now.
Probably.
That's the topic.
All right,
I think the easiest solution is, they call it done. Why don't you get one of them plaques like a veteran's plaque?
that goes
Put
on.
it on there, take that stone out of there.
Well, I think we have to tell them that stone has to move.
Uh,
And we
Yeah.
recommend they get a plaque to go on the
It's,
back. of
it's
it.
approaching on the other one that
Yep. Mhm.
Cause I don't know the other people, I know a lot of geese, but I don't know which ones them are.
Yeah, I
It
don't.
But
doesn't
if-
matter whose it is. It's
Right,
just-
if they come and complain. You wouldn't have a leg to stand on anyway, cause they're
Right,
I would-
They're lot.
that's
Right,
what I
you can't put on
meant.
some
Right.
other disease.
right.
do we know how?
So
far
that
they-
rock is pretty deep. That whatever they put on is actually quite thick. It just kept.
That's
sinking.
so-
It's, yeah, it's a regular stone that. It looked like they dug it out a little bit and set it there, and then it has just continued to sink.
Yeah, them things are heavy too, I mean,
Yes,
it ain't something you can go out there and pick up by hand.
How far are they encroaching? You said 8 feet, so 72 inches, how far is,
8 inches on that. 8 inches over on the next property.
And that's without them. I mean, to put a base on it, you would be 2 inches outside.
oh no, I get, yeah, but I'm more back to, so they're going. This distance is 8 inches
Mhm.
from edge of
The property.
G's to the edge of the. Is 8 inches, so they're 8 inches over on,
Correct.
Yeah,
and that's, I mean, that's,
8 inches a long ways.
yeah, no, I.
Yeah, if it was an inch or something, you know, would be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
8 inches, you're over there quite a bit.
If they both would have put 60-inch stone down there, there wouldn't be room for. the
Right.
in between.
Right,
Correct.
Right.
Well, like I said, if this one would have been centered like it should have been, you would have made it, yeah.
It's already moved to, right?
Right.
yeah, it's all around that edge.
Are they gonna call back for an answer or?
Kim,
I'm gonna call them when you guys decide.
all right. I think we need to tell them,
I think you better make a motion or.
I was just thinking how we need to go about doing this from a. Because remember, the cemetery board is just an advisory. board.
Right.
So I make a motion that we make a recommendation to city council that we have. Ernst, whoever, tell them they need to remove that stone, and if they want to put, if they want to put a plaque on the back of the other monument, they can do that. Now, are they good doing that? Do we have any?
I never suggested that to them. I just suggested that she had said something about at the foot of the stone of the. And I said, we'll have to go, we'll bring it to the board.
Which we know they can't do, but could they put a plaque on the
Yes, they could.
back of the heads?
So there's
Existing,
not already a military,
Yeah, they look like a military
Right.
flag, but
Right.
right,
it could be just in memory of so and so.
right, our cousins got that up north.
We've got some that have got the military flags. We've actually got some that have pictures engraved on the back.
yeah, okay,
And
So
this
it's-
one is blank.
Yes.
So we're
That's-
lucky there.
Yeah, if it was an inch or so, I'd say, you know. Let it go, but 8 inches, that's too much to.
Yeah.
or they could redo the whole headstone
Yeah,
and have all 3 names. on it.
Exactly.
That would be another option.
That would be another option. Within the distances
And they could put a
allowed,
bigger stone on,
They
they could
could-
put 60-inch stone on.
yeah,
And then we would have to pour another foot, so.
yeah, I mean, that would cost them,
There's other options.
right, but that
But
one,
putting that there is not an option.
that one has to come.
right. The most feasible thing would be the plaque on the back of the stone. That would be the least expense for them.
But that's up to them. I mean, they're gonna have to make that decision.
Right,
You know, we can say that, we can let them know that several things are available to commemorate that person, but this is not.
Yeah, I'm just asking, this little stone in front. We couldn't put a foundation there and put that stone there.
No,
Okay, I'm just asking.
no, because we allow them to have the stone there as decoration.
Yep, I get it.
But if they start, if you start pouring concrete, then they'll have 12 inches of concrete around every stone.
Yeah. Okay, Kim, so we have a motion.
Okay,
Can we get a second?
yeah, we had, outside,
So the motion is to tell them they have to remove that stone. They then have two options. They can replace the whole headstone, or they can buy a plaque to go on the back of the headstone that's existing.
And I don't know if there's any other, where they could, you know, they have to. Or they could have to reprint the one that they got,
Right.
just have something.
I don't know if they could come in and fill that in
Right on
and
this one.
redo it or not,
Yeah,
Well, they could, down in one of these other areas, they could add a name.
yeah,
yeah,
But there's 3 cremains there, right?
No,
Are these 2 cremains and then this is one more?
no, there's two bodies in there.
And then 3
And
cremains?
one remain.
but we're not talking about changing the layout of the physical. Right, it's just what goes on the stone.
Right.
But they could have an engraver come out and add a name to this stone if
If there's room.
that's what they choose. I mean, if it's their family.
So this is the question. We don't care if they do that, do we?
No, I mean, they add and subtract from the stones all the time.
Okay.
Mhm.
any discussion on it, what do you think about that?
Like it.
Yeah, I mean, you give them a couple options.
Yep.
And, we're not the one, the city's not the one that made the mistake, they made the mistake, so
Oh, that's-
they ought to be glad that, we're willing to work with them. You can come in and tell them, hey, that's gotta go,
Yeah, we're
and
not
give them
trying
some
to,
options on what they can do anyway.
All right, another question. Tell me now. Are we willing to remove that one?
We need one.
The one that needs to be,
the one that's
the
sinking.
one that needs to go.
I would rather not.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I would rather they get it, because if it comes out, if there's a chip in it, if
Yep.
it's.
Oh, yeah.
They
Okay.
come back on us.
Yep, okay,
Right,
fine. That's what I was asking.
that's when you fry that out.
Yeah, if he said it in there, he ought to be able to take it back out. I said,
If he's even around.
I don't think that, we should put the city in that spot where, you know, if
Right.
something happened, it broke or something, and they
Yep.
turn around and want to sue the city.
Yep.
And we didn't do it the first place, you know. so.
Hot angles.
Hey, is everybody in favor of that then?
Yep,
Yeah. So I guess that's what we'll do, and
Okay.
if they have a problem with that, get it out of there.
Well, let's see.
You know, we're trying to work with you.
Yep. It has to come out. It's,
Yeah,
That's our
Yep.
recommendation. If the city decides to change it, they can.
yeah. There's. You can't let them do that. The next thing you know, you'll be so ski hard that,
yep. All right,
and then, has anybody got anything else? I didn't ask what questions for the floor. You guys got anything?
I have a couple questions for Dave.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yes,
How often do you empty the trash can out there? Because it seems like every time I go in there, it's full.
it seems like every time we empty them.
Well, I was just
Yes,
curious.
we go through it weekly.
Weekly?
Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you weed whip?
Oh my God, this year, unreal. Usually 3 times a year. We're actually on our 5th time this year already.
Okay. That was my only question.
And the only thing right now that's not done, because we've been weed whacking all week, the only not done right now is hay.
I just, you know, where Vic's folks are and that.
Yeah,
trash
no,
can there.
it's-
We was out there
It's always been a minimum of 3 times,
and,
and
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 it's.
this year we're on our 5th already.
Every time when I come by that trash can.
Oh, that one trash can in E, I think they wait for us.
As soon as it's empty, they fill
Eh,
it.
Yeah, the other ones you'll drive around and there'll be 2 things in it. That one you empty, and you go back an hour later and it's full. Which doesn't surprise me, that's when we're all the newest stuff is, so.
But yeah, that one is, it is always.
Have you guys got anything else? No? Hey, imagine that.
Yeah, you know, maybe
Maybe
at some point we'll need one at each, at each end of that one. Would that help relieve it, or is that not a possibility?
At some point, yes, I've actually looked at adding another one because as the other site's starting to fill, that's.
Yeah, because you know, that one's pretty much to the north. If there was one back down to the south, that would cover or wherever.
Right. I can look into that. The other thing that would help is when people throw the stuff away, I mean, they throw the whole pots away. That's why it fills up so fast. Yeah, we go pull the cans out and there's actual flower pots in there and. We emptied it the other day and there was literally, it was overflowing and there was 4 pots in it. That's all that was in it.
And the only thing that I had, and I haven't talked to Paula, is about election officers. We should need to do that. If you want to change, if you don't want to change, we'll stay the way we are. Everybody knows how I am, mild, never outspoken. So if somebody else wants to do it, you know, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
But it'd be something to think about for our next meeting.
quiet, just sitting in the corner, not saying a word.
Usually. Sometimes I get a little carried away and
I don't know.
that's good.
Yeah.
You know,
Never know.
So the other thing you need to do is set the next meeting.
so it's something, you know, that the next meeting, if you wanna put that on the agenda, fine. If you don't, fine. I have no problem doing it. But I'm just telling you the way I am. If I got something to say, I usually say it. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong.
April is 6 months.
That's what I was thinking, April, around April 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
or 6th.
April.
So Kim, can we schedule the next meeting for first week of April?
First week of April? You want it on a
What's that?
Thursday? You want it at the same time on a Thursday?
Yep,
Okay, it'll be April 4th.
I will not be here for that one. That's my anniversary.
oh, okay. So do we want to go April 11th?
It don't matter to me.
Let's go April 11th.
Okay,
'Cause I know Dave would be heartbroken not make this meeting.
That would be, yeah, because that's the one date that I can't miss. 'Cause
I'm kidding.
I'm
No, no,
usually, I'm usually 100 bad list anyway.
Yeah, no, I get it, I get it.
Okay, with the next meeting to be April 11th, then you guys are right with the 11th?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far.
Okay, it's 6:30.
Did we send anything out to members that, I mean, when we send it out that, we're gonna have something like that? Maybe everybody's trying to get everybody here for that. If they actually want to change that.
Right.
Well, it was on the.
I don't change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the community page. on-
Okay.
on
Yeah,
Facebook, so, and I saw it more times recently than ever before.
Yeah.
And if they just,
Well, they called us and reminded us, and I sent each one of you guys a message about it.
And I saw somebody ask if it was open to the public and somebody
Yeah.
said sure is, and so.
All meetings are.
Yep.
Open to the public.
The only thing.
Okay,
The only thing about the 11th is that now, I know Dad's not here tonight. I'm not sure he would be to that one because that's their anniversary.
Okay. Well,
So, but
Oh,
let's change it. Just leave it there.
Yeah.
Then we'll go from
Well, we have to finish something.
all right, thanks, everybody.
yeah.